Good evening, Minnesota Twins fans. My name is Seth Stoes of twinsdaily.com, welcoming you to another episode, another show of Twins Jeopardy. Should be a fun show tonight, and let's just start right away. Let's bring in our guest. He'll be going first here tonight, so let's bring in Matt Braun. Matt, how are we doing?
What's up? I'm doing well. Coming at you from Washington as always, so I actually have the sun right now, unlike you guys.
Yeah, it's a little dark here already. So since you had to rub that in our face, we're going to jump right to Ted Schwerzer. We'll be going second. Ted, how are we doing this fine and lovely day?
Good. Cannot complain.
You could, but
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. All right, and then our third and final contestant of the evening, David Youngs. David, how are you?
You know, I'm doing all right, Seth. I'm coming to you guys from my folks' basement in Fargo, North Dakota. It is indeed dark and it is cold, but you know what? That's North Dakota for you. It builds character, and great to be here and excited to play some Twins Jeopardy.
All right, before we get started, and again, we want to welcome anyone who's watching live on Twins Daily Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, YouTube. Feel free to participate in the comments as we go along here. But I want to start out, so far it's been a really slow off-season, but the Twins did make news on Tuesday by signing right-handed pitcher Hansel Robles. Matt, your thoughts?
Robles, he's somewhat interesting at the very least. We use interesting a lot, maybe too much when it comes to pitchers, especially. Of course, had a phenomenal 2019. Was awful in 2020. How much stock you want to put in that? That's up to you. I know I put it out. Everyone's following me, but I'm just gonna echo my thoughts there. He's a very okay. If you get an okay reliever for $2 million, you know it kind of is what it is. I'm not gonna be over the moon about it, but I'm not gonna be upset about it. I mean, it's just it's a solid move.
All right, I think I caught most of that, Matt. Hopefully we can get your audio here cleaned up a little bit. I don't know if you need to get closer or what, but Ted, I'm going to follow up with you. Ted, your thoughts on where he kind of fits into the Twins bullpen as you see it today?
Yeah, I would say he probably takes over some of that Sergio Romo role, not necessarily pending to the late innings, but with the ability to work into those spots. I mean, he closed games for the Angels 2 years ago, probably playing somewhere for the upside in between 2019 and 2020 being the reality of what he is. I mean, you're going to build a bullpen adding guys like that and adding upside plays, especially with the volatility that relievers have. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. It's a fine first move to get the ball rolling on the winter.
Yeah, for sure. No, David, probably isn't it, right? Is there another reliever or two that you would like to see the Twins go after?
Yeah, well, I would. I agree with Ted that I don't think it's a bad move. I think it's a safe move, not somebody that is essentially going to be the marquee guy in your bullpen, but he's someone who's got gas, maybe makes up for some of that leeway that we lost with Sergio Romo, Trevor May. But, you know, I would still love to see Brad Hand. And I think that would be a good lefty arm. He's shown that he is one of the top relievers consistently in the game. And obviously he's got the connection, being a Minneapolis-St. Paul kid. Spoke last week with Darren Wolfson, saying that he'd love to play for the Twins. Nash Walker of Twins Daily has done some good coverage of that. So I'd love to see Brad Hand, but the signing of Robles is a good start, and hopefully more to come.
I'm going to hit unmute. Matt, let's check you out here. Is there an arm or a bat right now that you would really like to see the Twins, go after next?
Well, I'll echo Brad Hand. I'm a big Brad Hand fan. All the connections make sense, and it's rare you see, like what David mentioned with Darren Wolfson, that he just straight up said, "Yeah, I'd like to play in Minneapolis," basically asking, "Hey, please sign me," you know. So I'd like Brad Hand. A bat, you know, there's some interesting guys out there. I tossed around the idea of like Michael Brantley, maybe if you want to push off starting, you want to go with the more set in stone type, you know, you're going to get. But honestly, at this point, I'd take anything because this has been an extremely boring offseason.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, how about you, Ted? Is there a name that right now you would target if you're in the Twins front office?
Yeah, I still think we're going to see. I mean, the other day kind of pushed everything to the forefront of every team needs to get going with the Padres really ratcheting everything up. But the reality is that virtually no free agents have signed at all anywhere. I still think the Twins are probably going to be active on the trade front. And if that's the case, I'd hope that they look at two teams that have already made moves. I'd love to see Joe Musgrove from the Pirates, or I would be more than happy exploring options with the Cubs, whether that's Javi Baez or if you believe Chris Bryant still has an intact shoulder. Those types of moves I think still make some sense.
All right, David, New Year's, new resolutions, all that kind of good stuff. Do you think that they're going to be active over the next month or two?
Do I think the Twins are going to be active? That's like asking how many licks to the center of a Tootsie Pop. I think that by Twin standards, yes, but in retrospect to the rest of the league, I don't necessarily think so. I do think the appeal for Javi Baez is there, and especially with what we've seen teams like Ted mentioned with the Padres really gearing up with some of their recent signings and trades. That is something that, I think Twins fans can expect to see at least another trade or two, a big trade maybe even, but I don't think they're necessarily going to be trying to completely reload because they don't have to. But adding one more large piece, whether that be a reliever, whether that be a bat, I think we're going to see one big move.
All right, and with that, everyone's here to watch some Twins Jeopardy. So what do you guys think? Should we get started? Should we show you the board?
Let's see it.
All right, so before we get started, I'm going to mention that neither of these three candidates, Matt Braun, Ted Schwerzler, David Youngs, has seen the board. So this is actually a new board. It hasn't been used before. No one has seen it. So again, no matter where you're watching this, if you're participating live, please feel free to send us your comments, your answers. Try to top these contestants and see how you do. So let's make it interactive and let's have some fun. So with that, I bring in the board, and our topics of the night are presidential players, fun with numbers, Rule 5 picks, Gophers to Twins, and traded for ... So with that, we already talked earlier. Matt Braun, you've got the first selection. Where would you like to go?
Oh Lord. Let's do fun with numbers for 200.
All right, so category we had last time: Randy Bush, Rich Becker, Jim Thome, Byron Buxton.
I have no idea.
Ted first I'm gonna.
Oh, 20. Yeah.
We're gonna take the points away from Matt. Ted or Dave, your guess? If
25.
you want to get it, you don't have to.
25.
All right, who got that one?
I think Ted spoke first, so I'll give it to Ted.
All right, that's good honesty right there. We'll give Ted the points because that is correct. Byron Buxton, the current player to wear number 25. And just for fun, we will let you know that, of course, Cody got it right. Nick got it right. Trevor got it right. And Susan got it right. Congratulations to all four of you. Takes a 200 to 0 to negative 200 lead. And we will continue. Next up is Ted. So real quickly, what we're going to do here is they've picked the order, and they're going to pick. Whoever makes the selection for the pick gets the first shot, and then the others will be able to answer the question allows. We're going to do negative points and things like that. So, again, Ted, you're on the board.
Let's go with the Rule 5 picks for 200.
Rule 5 picks for 200. The answer is Rule 5 pick in 2012. He pitched 281 games for the Twins over parts of 6 seasons in the Twins bullpen.
Who is Ryan Presley?
Who is Ryan Presley? Ted, 200 more points. Taking a big lead here so far in the early going. 2 questions in. And again, the question here, are we supposed to type the answers in YouTube live chat? And yes, if you know the answer, go ahead. You just want to ask the question, go ahead. We certainly encourage the interaction here. So with that, I believe we are up to David for your first choice.
Let's go Sky Yuma, Gophers to Twins for 400.
Gophers to Twins for 400. And I will try to slow down here. Let a few people try to get these answers in here. Twins Hall of Famer played hockey for John Mariucci, and having never started a game in college, his 10-inning pitching performance beat USC and won the 1960 College World Series.
Oh, golly. Played hockey for John Mariucci. Yeah. And Twins Hall of Famer. Oh, that's old. I want to say who is Terry Steinbach, but that's too young. So I'm going to go with who is I don't know, who is Jim Cott?
That is incorrect. Ted or Matt?
All right. Who is Jim Perry?
Was that Matt? So
Yeah.
David loses 400. Matt loses 400. Ted, you want to go? You want to make a guess?
I have no idea.
All right. Who knows in our comments? Did anyone get it in our comments? We've got, at least we know David's got a fan.
Thanks, Mom.
And another fan. All right. We had a few guesses of Jim Cott. We had a guess of Royce Smalley. We had a guess of Bob Allison, a guess of Jerry Koosman, but the answer is the Twins Hall of Famer is Jim Rance. Twins farm director, longtime farm director. He pitched for the Gophers and won a championship for them. So we'll go back to the board here, and we're going back to Matt Braun. Matt, your second choice.
Well, first you're going to tell me we guessed 2 Jims and both of them were wrong.
That is correct. The third one is correct.
Oh, good Lord. All right, let's go with presidential players.
All right, presidential. I think people will figure out the category here. This Twins player debuted in 1975 and hit 57 home runs over 4 seasons in the Twins outfield.
Who is Ron Washington?
That is incorrect.
Could you at least give me some points, please, man? You're killing me.
We'll see where we're at the end. Ted or David, either of you want to chime in? Going once? Going twice? Oh, man, you guys are too young. Well, I guess I wasn't even born when this guy started hitting home runs for the Twins. But we do have Tracy Toole watching, and he is correct. Disco Dan Ford. Spent 4 seasons with the Twins, hit 57 home runs. And yes, Gerald Ford was a president. So with that, I thought this was an easier show, you guys. Come on, work with me here. Ted, your second pick. Where are we going on the board?
Let's go with traded for 300.
All right. Again, I think you'll figure out the category here. Traded for 300. Dave Engel, Paul Hartzell, Brad Havens, and Ken Landreau.
Not a clue.
Right. So we're going to remove 300 from Ted. Matt or David, any guesses?
I do think I know this one just because I recognize a few of those names. Who is Rod Carew?
Who is Rod Carew? And again, Tracy Toole is correct. So where are we at right now? We're Ted's still the only one with a positive number at 100. David getting closer with the negative 100. And hopefully Matt is having some fun. So far, we got a lot of game to go, though. So making his second round pick, David, where are you going for this pick?
Let's go Gophers Twins for 200. I want to get back in the positive.
All right, we'll see if that works. He went 12-4 in 26 starts in 2008, then later became a 3-time All-Star closer.
Let's go with who is Glenn Perkins?
Who is Glenn Perkins? That is correct, and David is back in the positive. So we're through 2 rounds. We got 25 things on the board. We're just 6 in, and we've got a lot of good comments coming through here in the comments section. We'll give some credit here. Again, Tracy Toole knows the answer. Who is Perkins? We've got Nick, Glenn Perkins. We've got Cody calling out Perk, and Trevor, Glenn Perkins. So again, please feel free to participate. We're still early in the going here, and how about we give Matt an opportunity to make up some ground here?
All right, I just need to get a question right here. Let's go Rule 5 for 100.
All right, let's see if you can get this one. He was the Rule 5 pick in 1989. This outfielder hit 309 over 5 seasons and helped the Twins win the World Series in 1991.
Oh, Lord.
Whoops.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to be wrong. Who is Dan Gladden? I know I'm wrong. Give me the negative.
All right, we'll just give you the negative. And Ted or David, did you happen to see what popped up on your screen, and who would like to make a pick?
Who is Shane Mack?
And Ted gets the 100 points. Who is Shane Mack, who obviously had a pretty big impact on that 1991 Twins team. And unfortunately, due to the strike in 94, he ended up going to Japan when he became a free agent, not knowing if the Twins were or anyone was going to play. So again, Cody got it right. Nick Lovas got it right. Tracy Toole got it right. Let's see, who else? Nathan DeFrance got it right. It was not Steve Lombardozzi. Chuck Knobloch, nope. Who is Shane Mack? Tanya got it right. All right, that was Matt. Ted, let's get you. Let's show you the board first.
Let's do numbers for 400.
Numbers for 400. We're at Ted here. Craig Kusick, George Samus, Brad Radke, Miguel Sano.
22.
22 is correct. We better give Ted some points here. He's up to 600 with David at 100. Who had that one? All right, we got a few of them. Spencer. Oh, they're coming in like crazy. I'm not sure if it's before or after, but we got Spencer at 22, Nick at 22, Tracy at 22, Nick at 22, Trevor at 22, Susan at 22. Whoops. Chris at 22 and Cody 22. Holy cow, this is going to be hard for me to keep up. So I'm going to try to keep up with people making these predictions and getting them right or the answers right. But I appreciate it. Anyone, again, if you'd like to participate, feel free to join and then send in your comments, whether you're watching live on Twins Daily Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And with that, David, you're up for, I believe, your 3rd pick. Still lots of categories on the board. And
there we go. Now I am unmuted. Let's go presidential players for 200.
Presidential players for 200. All right. Twins utility infielder from 1981 to 1986. He later went to 2 World Series with the Texas Rangers.
Who is Ron Washington?
Who is Ron Washington? So we better give David those points. Now, do you guys remember Ron Washington was given a lot of credit for working with Kirby Puckett? They were roommates for a while. He was kind of the glue, and it was him. It was Ron Washington, Al Newman, and Ron Gardenhire that were trying to be the utility player. Now, Al Newman got the job. Ron Gardenhire went to the minors for a little while and became a manager. Ron Washington went elsewhere, became a manager. We got a lot of people that got that one right. So who else do we have here? Cody, Tracy, Nick, Spencer, Trevor, Nathan, Mark with this first right answer here, and we've got Rick, I believe, with the first right answer you've shown here tonight. So again, we're going to try to let people get their answers in here, but we're going to go Matt. Matt, I don't know. You want to do a 100 again? You want to try a 500? What's the strategy at this point?
He's looking for the free space.
Dude, I wish, man. I'm so far in the right now, it doesn't even matter. Let's just go at it. Go big or go home. Let's do Rule 5 for 400.
Rule 5 for 500, did you say? 400, okay.
400.
Rule 5 picks for 400. Rule 5 pick in 1979. This pitcher finished third in AL Rookie of the Year voting in 1980 and was an All-Star in 1981 for the Twins.
Dude, I'm 21 years old. How much history do you think I know? My goodness. Good Lord. Who is even? I'm just going to throw a name out there. Who is Frank Viola?
That is incorrect. Now, we do have a couple of comments in there that do have it right, or at least one. So, Ted, David, would you want to wager a guess for 400?
I'll take a pass on that.
Nope. David? Nope.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
Well, I will tell Rick Moulton that it was not Johan Santana.
Was a Rule 5, though.
Tracy gets it right again. Who is Doug Corbett, who was later traded to the Angels in a trade that I believe brought back Tom Bernansky.
Tracy's definitely winning right now.
I think if we asked that earlier, if people are see if they can beat our contestants, I think Tracy.
Does Tracy want to switch with me? Would that be good?
Yeah, maybe we should bring Tracy into team with Matt. That might be a good.
Honestly, good.
But again, we're having fun here. So, Ted, you're up.
Let's go numbers again for 300 this time.
All right, fun with numbers for 300. Vic Power, Bert Blyleven, Mike Marshall, Jesse Crane.
Why am I blanking on Blyleven? 57? No, that's not right.
Are we going?
Matt wants to say 28 so we can get some points.
So Ted guessed 57, right?
Yep, knew that was wrong.
So that's wrong. Now, who said 28?
I did. I want my points.
Matt said 28.
Let's do it. We got what is 28, and we've got points for Matt. Hey, everybody join us in congratulating him. And we got a few people that got that one right as well. Of course, Cody, Nick, Caden Meads, congratulations, 28. Tracy Toole, Mark Worm, Nick Lolas, all guessed 28. So I was trying to trick you because 28 is weird.
Whoever threw out the Johan Santana last question threw me off. That's what I'm going with.
All right, we got that going. All right, we got a tie right now between not Matt, but Ted and David at 300. And David, you've got a chance right now to take the lead, and it's your pick.
A lot of pressure here. Let's just go Gophers to Twins for let's go 100.
This golfer won a Silver Slugger and a Manager of the Year award as a member of the Twins.
It would be Paul Molitor. Who is Paul Molitor?
Who is Paul Molitor? Of course, he had the Silver Slugger, I believe, in 1996 as a DH with the Twins. And then he won the Manager of the Year recently, and then a year later got fired. So I don't know if that's a great award or not, but obviously a great, great player. So we better give David his 100 points. And we'll go back to Matt Braun.
Let's see. Let's go with Rule 5 for 3.
This Twins Rule 5 pick in 1999, he was immediately traded to the Florida Marlins for a left-handed pitcher that turned out to be really, really good.
So is this the Rule 5 pick or the guy he was traded for?
He was the Twins Rule 5 pick who was immediately traded to Florida.
Well, I know he was traded for Johan Santana. I could not tell you who the pick was, though.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Or is that a different game show, I guess? I'm not sure. So, that one's not correct. Who's got the guess? David.
Who is Jared Camp?
Who is Jared Camp? David jumping out to a big lead, although all the 500 categories are still in there. Let's see if anyone got that one. Oh, Cody got Camp. Nick Zitzloff got Camp. We had some other good guesses. By the way, I'm going to go back for just a second. I missed a couple of things. First of all, on the Paul Molitor answer, we got Cody getting that one right. Corky got that one right. Tracy got that one right, of course. Spencer got that one right. Tanya got that one right. Susan got that one right. Chris got that one right. Mark got that one right. Nathan got that one right. Hey, we're all about making sure everyone gets their names out there. So Nick Lovas got it correct as well. And before we go any further, the most important thing we can do is welcome Max the Cat. Max the Cat, welcome. We appreciate you joining us tonight for Twins Jeopardy. Awesome to see you here again tonight. So appreciate you doing that. All right, so that was a Matt question, which means we are back to Ted. We've got about half the board remaining, including all five, are about 500-point questions.
Let's go with the 500 numbers. Redeem myself.
Which category?
The numbers for 500.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even look at my names. All right, our 500-point Fun with Numbers. Tom Kelly, Frank Viola, Doug Minkiewicz, Josh Willingham.
16.
What is number 16? And Ted jumps into the lead. Thought that one might be a little bit confusing by throwing Tom Kelly out there. Of course, Tom Kelly wore that number when he, as a manager, but as a player, he wore 16. So, who got it right? Cody, Susan, Nick Zitzloff, Mark Worm. That must have been too easy of a 500-point question. Spencer got it right. Tracy Toole got it correct. Carlson, which I assume is Cooper. Tanya. Trevor. Oh, did I give Spencer credit? He gave the 10. So, all right, so we got a whole new ball game here. 800 for Ted, 700 for David. And again, hopefully Matt is still having fun as we go to David for his next selection.
All right, let's go Gophers to Twins for 3.
All right. Starred for the Gopher baseball and basketball teams. He was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, Atlanta Hawks, Utah Stars, and San Diego Padres. One of his 222 Twins hits was his 3,000.
Who is Dave Winfield?
David jumps back into the lead with Dave Winfield. We got a few that got that one correct. Cody got it right. Craig, here's a new Craig, thank you for joining us. Dave Winfield. Who else? Of course, Tracy, who we're going to maybe have to have as a contestant next week. Corky, Spencer, Nick Zitzloff, Nathan, holy moly, Rick, Mark, Tanya, Greg Sheik, I believe your first answer here. Thank you for joining again tonight. Chris Halstead, Susan Cooper, and Trevor. All right, we are back to Let's see if I can hit the right buttons here. Oh, we got to add another new one. Jay Candyman, thanks for joining us tonight. All right, we still got some room here. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, let's see how I can go even deeper. Let's see. Let's do traded 4 for 4.
All right, traded 4 for 400. Ron Davis, Greg Gagne, Paul Boris.
Not a single idea. Not even one.
All right, so we'll open it up. Ted or David?
Gonna pass.
I am just going to take a stab at this one because I know the generation somewhat well because I don't know a whole lot about current baseball, but past baseball. Is it who is Roy Smalley?
Well, should I show the answer or should I just show Tracy Toole's answer, which is Roy Smalley?
I don't think Tracy's got one wrong.
Tracy is on fire.
This is tough, and Tracy's making it look easy. Also, Nathan DeFrance, you got it right. And Susan got it right, unless he was picking a different Roy. Mark got it correct. Jay Candyman got it correct. It was a guess for Cooper, but got it right. So, with that, David kind of taking a bit of a lead there now. What's the follow-up here, Ted? You're up.
Let's go with traded 4 for 200.
Traded 4 for 200. Eric Milton, Christian Guzman, Brian Buchanan, Danny Mota.
It was to Washington, I believe. I don't know, though, off the top of my head. No idea.
All right. Open up for David or Matt. Going once.
I'm going to pass on this one. I have an idea, but I don't want to sacrifice the points.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm so far negative. I don't want to be too embarrassed. Let's pass.
All right. The answer was Knobloch.
Mr. Yes.
Not when he was with the Twins, though. That's for sure. All right. Let's real quickly. We'll get caught up here. Craig, thank you. You got the answer right. Chuck Knobloch. Chuck Knobloch by Cody. Spencer with Knobloch. Of course, Tracy with Knobloch. Rick Moulton with Knobloch. Jay Candyman with Knobloch. Nick Lovis with Chuck Knobloch. Susan with Chuck. Susan also with Chuck. And Tanya with Knobloch. So let's give a quick update of where we're at. David currently has a big lead at 1,400 points. Ted is at 600 with 4 of the 500 pointers still out there. There's still an opportunity. We've got 3 $100 questions and we've got a 400 remaining. I believe that was Ted's. So we are back to David. David, you've got a lead. What's the plan?
Let's go. I'll play it safe. Let's go Presidential Players 100.
All right, for 100. He spent 12 seasons with the Twins as an outfielder, DH, pinch hitter, and has 2 World Series rings to prove it.
Oh, God. DH. 12 seasons with the Twins as an outfielder. Oh, God.
Going once.
Yeah, my mind is shot. I know. Is it who is Randy Bush?
Wow. David just letting lots of people get their answers in, but he does get it in.
I promise I didn't cheat. I just frankly could not think there. Too much pressure.
All right, Cody got it correct. Tracy got it correct. Nick Lovis got it correct, and Corky got it correct. That was a little difficult for a 100-point question. So let's bring it back to Matt. Matt, oh my goodness, we got a few more. Sorry about that. Let's give some credit here. While David was thinking, our comment section filled up. Andrew Pint, thank you for participating. Busk, Bua, Randy Bush for Nathan, Bush for Nick Zitzlaff, Spencer, Susan, Andrew, Trevor, Rick, Carlson, Tanya, Mark, Craig, Nick, and Cody. Oh, also number 25. All right. So here we are. That was David's question. We're back to the top of the order. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more questions to go. Let's take a minute here and just talk about another topic for a second. Matt, how young are you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I told you I'm only 21 here. I've tried my best to learn and understand Twins history, but I've only been watching for like a decade. So you're pulling out names I've never even heard of before, and everyone knows them. I'm just like, good Lord, you people are. This is what I'll grow into when I'm 20 years down the road talking about Pedro Flormon. This is what I'm going to sound like.
Exactly. So one of my favorite articles, I think you wrote an article like probably even a year or two ago about your fandom. So kind of just talk a little bit how a kid from Washington has become this big of a Twins fan.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're watching me do this now, you'd think I knew nothing about the Twins. Like, good Jesus. But I am a big Twins fan. I was raised, my dad was a big Twins fan from the Midwest, born and raised into it. And so, I mean, I've been watching them, as I said, a little bit more than a decade. Just recently, when I discovered Twins Dailies, when I got into writing about the Twins, and I've been doing that nearly 2 years now, actually, now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, it's a little interesting having an outsider's perspective. I don't think it's dampered like my fandom in any way, and to some degree, you know, when you do go when they do come to Safeco, and it's still called Safeco, by the way. I'm not referring to by T-Mobile. It's Safeco. When they do come to Safeco, they're a lot more reactive to outside fans. I've got a lot of signatures. Unfortunately, those baseballs that I got signatures on are back in my other house, my parents' house. I'm not like rich. I don't have two houses. Let me be clear here. But it's a very interesting experience, and it's always like if I do meet another Twins fan, it's very much like, oh, hey, I'm never gonna let go. Be with me forever because we need to hunt together, you know. Yeah, that's been pretty much my experience.
All right, Ted, I kind of want to ask you the same question. I guess starting with, what are some of your earliest Twins memories? What were some of those years that you first remember, your formative years? And what was it that kind of brought out that love of the Twins for you?
Yeah, I think I always gravitated towards baseball. I played baseball growing up. I remember going to the Metrodome with my dad pretty often as a kid, and being from a suburb about 2 hours south, it was always like a trip to go to the cities and go to the Metrodome. But I remember as a probably somewhere around an 8-year-old or so sitting out and waiting for bobblehead days when they were huge back in the early years of, or I guess the middle years of the Metrodome. But the Twins are really all I've known since growing up. So just stuck with it, I guess.
No, that's fantastic. And David, I want to kind of again ask you the same question. You grew up, I believe, in Fargo, which is close to where I grew up in West Central Minnesota. But I know played tennis in college at Concordia. Roll Cobs hashtag. Always got to get that in there. But David, talk a little bit about your Twins fandom and where that began.
Yeah, well, similar to what Matt and Ted have said, I grew up, both my parents were huge Twins fans. my mom got to go to one of the games in the '87 World Series, and she gave me the ticket. So I have that in my backpack right now, and so grew up with lots of stories about them. My dad collected Chuck Knobloch cards. Him and his buddies collected cards, and his buddy chose Kirby, so my dad went with Knobloch. But yeah, I remember my first trip to the Metrodome, and it's been fun with some of my stories at Twins Daily. Been able to talk to some other Twins players who grew up watching games at the Dome, and listening to them say the same thing, that they remember being blown in by the air at the Dome and pushed out. And it's still, through high school and now through college, Twins baseball has just been a really big part of what I like to do in my free time. I mean, I grew up, played baseball through high school, was a catcher, was always number 7, and was an opposite field left-handed hitter. Because there was a certain someone from Minnesota who did that pretty well, and I wanted to grow up and be like that guy. But being able to write about the Twins now is a dream come true.
Thank you guys for sharing. For me, my earliest real memories are '84. I used to collect those sticker books and some cards back in the mid '80s. But for me, it was Kirby Puckett getting called up and hearing about his early days and early games. Again, we were 3 hours from the Twin Cities, so getting to the Dome was a treat. And I remember, as a family, we went down there. I remember had John Henry Johnson, who was a relief pitcher with the Red Sox back in the mid '80s, threw me a ball during batting practice, and I had Kirby Puckett sign it. And I tossed it down to Dave Engel, who was just an all-star a year or so earlier, and he threw it into the team's ball bag. And then he saw me like so disappointed. He said, just kidding, just kidding. So, I mean, those are my memories. I wore 34 because of Puckett through high school. He was definitely my guy. If not, I love Chuck Knobloch. What he was with the Twins was incredible. And it's been fun, getting to know some guys on the current team and recent teams through Twins Daily, through SethSpeaks.net before that. So, my purpose of these questions that are older isn't so much, to prove that I'm old, because I think everyone knows that already. But I mean, my Twins knowledge goes back like 35 years, and the organization has been in Minnesota for 60 years. There's a lot of interesting stuff, and I think it's fascinating. I know on future Jeopardies, I've got some questions even about that original 1961 Twins team, and it's hopefully fun for you listening, which is really what it's all about. So with that, we've got 7 more categories. We're going to just first get a little mockery from Cody here for Matt. He knows nothing of the Metrodome. I'm old. Metrodome was the greatest. Or as Corky said, no place like Dome. Tanya just wants us to get going with fun with numbers for 100. And Susan, big fan of Torrey Hunter, known him for 23 years, which is pretty cool as well. So, all right, Matt, with that little segue in the middle, let's get back to the board.
All right. Shoot. How am I going to embarrass myself further? Let's go with 5.
What was that, Matt?
Traded for 500.
Right. Alex Presley and Duke Welker.
Actually, Alex Presley. Wait a minute. Who is Vance Worley?
That is correct. Ted or David, you got a guess? Going once? Going twice? The answer?
Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Who is Justin Morneau? Let's just see. Of course, Cody got it right. We had a few other guesses, though. But, yeah, that was one of those. He had the concussions. He had kind of struggled, and then he went to the Pirates for Alex Presley and Duke Welker. And I think they immediately traded Duke Welker back to the Pirates and got someone else instead. And I don't think that guy made it either. But, Corky says, hey, you're a trooper, Matt. So, real quick update. David's at 1,500. Ted's at 600. And we're going to give Matt some points here at some point. We'll put him up to negative 800. How's that? Sounds good, right? And Ted, you are on the board.
Let's just close out fun with numbers.
For 100, Jim Rowland, Ted Eulander, Jim Nettles, Kirby Puckett.
34.
What is 34? Ted moves a little bit closer to David, and there are some big numbers that can go up or can go down as we go here. So it's definitely not over. And I know there's going to be a few people that got that one. But first, Ron Brown says, I have not been to any Twins home games, but my following the Twins started when I went to a Senators game in 1959. So I also feel Ron would have a pretty good chance at some of these as well. But Spencer got 34. Nick got 34. Cody got 34. Boy, I think a lot of people got 34. Jay got 34. Corky 34. Nathan, Susan, Nick, Rick, Andrew. Let's see. Trevor and Nick. And Trevor would also like to say, Matt, I'm with you. At only 24, they have serious years on us. So, yeah, getting lots of support there for you there, Matt. All right, next up on the board is David, I think.
Let's go, boy. We got mostly big numbers here. Let's take a stab. Gophers to Twins for 500.
This former golfer debuted with 3 games for the 1989 Twins. He went to Atlanta where he was an all-star and played against the Twins in the 1991 World Series.
I got to say, who is Greg Olson?
Who is Greg Olson? That is absolutely correct, and Cody confirms that. That is correct. David, did we give you your points yet?
I do not believe so. There you go.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Trying to keep it close here to make it competitive right to the end. Cody got it. Nick Lovas got it correct. Corky got that one correct. Tracy got that correct. Andrew Pint and Tanya got that one as well. All right. So, again, quick update. We've got 4 categories left on the board. Right now, David has a lead at 2,000 points, Ted at 700, and Matt is at minus 800 or so. So, Matt, you're on the board.
Yeah. All right. Let's do Rule 5 for 5.
All right. Twins 1980 Rule 5 pick. He pitched 2 seasons with the Twins. He was a longtime White Sox pitching coach.
Oh, he just got fired. Oh, shoot. Oh, Lord. I know who it is. I know what he looks like. I've seen him walk out to take out the pitcher after he gave up 6 over 3 innings, like many times. Oh, good Lord.
I almost feel like we should give you points just for this stress right now.
Play. Oh, I know what he looks like. You've got to be kidding me. I'm sorry. I can't think of a name. I can't think of the name.
All right, we're not going to take away any points because I feel like, you're close.
Yeah,
Who's got a pick?
Who is Don Cooper?
That was it.
All right, I'm not sure what to do because,
I didn't raise my hand. Sorry.
No, give it to Ted. I need to be more vocal. I'm too Midwestern.
Oh, by the way, yes, the answer is Don Cooper. And we got a few. Spencer got it correct. Cody had it correct. Nick Zitzloff got it correct. Susan got it correct. Trevor, Andrew Pint, Nick Lobas, Susan, I think, Don and then Cooper. And oh boy, here comes the trash talking. Don Cooper, come on, Matt, it's my name.
That's why I got it wrong. I was trying to ignore that.
There we go. And Cody says, "Hey, you described it perfectly. That's all you can do."
At least that made it funny. Congratulations.
Yes. All right. Well, we're close. David's at 2,000. Ted is at 1,200. And we have a total of 3 questions remaining, which means, Ted, you're up.
I'm not going to end up getting it, but let's go with the last 500 one. Gotta try.
Presidential players for 500. A Minnesotan, he pitched 5 seasons for the Twins in the mid-'70s. In 1977, he won 16 games and saved 15 more.
No clue.
Final answer?
Yep.
All right, David or Matt? Or David? Just kidding, Matt.
Well, I know. Well, shoot. This is presidents, right?
Presidential players.
Well, I know one pitcher on the 77 team, but he does not have a presidential name, so I'm just going to refrain.
That might be a smart decision, given the ramifications. But I mean, should we just go straight to Tracy Toole for the correct answer?
I think so.
Who is Tom Johnson? And there is a president, I think, that had the last name Johnson. So both Tracy got that correct, and Craig got that correct as well. I think even just guessing a bunch of old president names is always fun too. So that was my other thing besides baseball. In elementary school, I'd read the encyclopedia to figure out who all the presidents were because I was just that cool.
A man of knowledge.
All right, we've got a good history lesson here from Nick Lobos. Andrew Johnson, he was the first president who was impeached. All right, David, you got a chance to add on, or basically you kind of clinched here. So what do you think?
Let's do trades for 100.
Tom Herr.
Oh, gall, I know this one because I see our friend at Twins Almanac post pictures of Tom Herr. He was not extremely successful with the Twins. Would that be I don't know. Who is I feel like I should throw a name out there because this is the era that I enjoy. Who is Greg Gagne? Yeah, who's Greg Gagne? Nope, Gary Gaetti. Gary Gaetti.
That was really close, but I feel like I should take. You know what? We're going to take away 100 for Greg Gagne, and we're going to take away 100 for Gary Gaetti because it doesn't.
All right, that's fine. That's
Matt or Ted, do you have an answer?
No, but if we wait long enough and David keeps guessing, one of us wins.
Just let me pull up
for a while
here real quick.
Yeah. All right. So we're just going to go with the answer here, and that is, who is Tom Brunansky? Cody told us. Nick told us. Tracy told us. Corky told us. Tanya told us. Nathan might have spelled Bryna Sky, but I think he meant Brunansky. Bruno. Jay got Brunansky. Oh, frankly, that's a new one. Congratulations, you got Tom Brunansky, and then corrected it to Tom Brunansky. All right. We are to the final question on the board, and I'm actually glad that that David picked the traded for, because that's 1987, 1988. Matt probably wouldn't have had that one correct, but I feel like Matt will know this final answer. So Matt, this one's for you. We'll see if you can get presidential players for 400. Oh no. In a June 1977 game, Rod Carew scored 5 runs, and this player drove in 8 runs. Well, how many? There's 45 presidents, and we've already used up 4 of them, but really 5 of them because Bush was twice. So really, you've got a 1 in 40 chance here.
Okay, I like this.
1 in 39.
It's a real shame we never had a president named Allison. That would have made things easier. Presidents. Obama, yeah, definitely Cooper, definitely. I'm guessing
Not Obama.
Who is? I don't have a guess. Sorry, I can't do it.
All right, we're going to give you 400 points, and we're going to give you 800 points for guessing incorrectly there, and that'll put you 0 for the day. We don't want it to be a negative experience for you, Matt. So
this has been anything but. I'm having a blast.
Good. David or Ted, do you have an answer?
Nope.
All right, so we're gonna give Tracy Toole, who I believe probably is our winner tonight. Although we're gonna give David the crown for tonight. Who is Glenn Adams? As Tracy did tell us. I guess he said Glenn Admus. So, but we know what you meant. Tanya got it correct. Corky acknowledged that Tanya was correct. Let's see who else. And that is it for our comments. So with that, again, let's bring up our tally here. David is our winner for tonight with 1,800 points. Ted at 700, and Matt Braun finishes at a perfect 0. Congratulations to all of you guys. It's been a lot of fun. Let's throw one more question out there. Is there something you learned from tonight's show, Matt, that you will take with you in your Twins knowledge for forever?
Oh, absolutely not. But I did learn that I am horrible at the history of Twins when it comes to random questions and how they relate to other topics. Now knowing this, I'm not sure how I'm going to utilize this information going forward, but I guess I'm glad I know it.
All right, we'll take that. How about you, Ted? Is there anything kind of that stood out to you about any of the questions tonight or any of the topics that you'd covered?
I think I'll continue writing using Baseball Reference, Fangraphs, Baseball, things like that as references as opposed to an almanac because I'm definitely not well versed.
All right, and let's go right to our champion, David Youngs. First of all, congratulations. Secondly, what do you take from this momentous occasion for you?
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words. I'm headed to Disney World. Not actually. Was never really a big Disney World guy. But obviously a blast. This was my first real one of these that I did. A lot of fun. I still do not think that I'm the most knowledgeable Twins person here by any means. But I really enjoyed the Gophers to Twins and was particularly surprised because I've had the chance to write about a few guys that have been Gopher Twins, like Brian Robbie, who's a New Ulm guy, as well as Terry Steinbach, who is a Gopher as well. And I was expecting one of those two guys to be on there. They were not, but great to see some names like Winfield. And also fun to learn that Seth wore number 34 growing up. When I look back in the Purim baseball record books, I'm sure I'll see that number on there quite a bit.
Well, by the time I got to high school, I wore number 5 because I was a freshman and I got whatever was left because I was a freshman. And then, I'm not exactly a little guy, but as a point guard in basketball, I got to wear number 55 to put the 5s together. But for whatever reason, the road numbers and the home numbers were different. One was even, one was odd. So I was 55 on the one, but I was 34 on the other. So
got to throw off the opponents when they're watching film.
Well, right. I just, don't guard that guy. He has no idea what he's doing. So, but with that, I guess one more just general question. Matt, we'll start with you. We kind of asked it beforehand a little bit, but what are some of the things you're working on, and what really interests you as we start the new year, as you look to 2021?
Is that just in general, or when it comes to the Twins?
Well, ideally semi-baseball related, whether it's how things are going or what you expect to see or what we still don't know, because there is a lot we still don't know about this upcoming season.
Yeah, that's kind of just the big part I keep coming back to during this offseason is, we've seen it so slow, but I think a lot of it is uncertainty, not just around the season, but specific rules. Like, we still have no strong answer on the DH, whether it's going to be in the National League. And for a guy like Nelson Cruz, he's got to be sitting around like, are you kidding me? Like, that's my entire market right there. Is it just going to be the small handful of teams in the American League that will actually sign me, or do I have now an entire National League that would be interested in my services and will probably bump me up a few million? And so I'm still kind of focused on. If I had access to Rob Manfred, I guess I'd just be asking me, like, what are you even doing? Are you just does an entire day go by and you don't even think about these rules, or what's happening? How is it almost 2021 and we don't know how 2021 is going to look? It's weird.
Well, just to point this out, if Rob Manfred follows Ted on Twitter, he probably knows how Ted feels about what he thinks he's doing. That comes out about 3 times a day, and then every article every once in a while. So, Ted, how about you? What are you, I guess, you're looking forward to finding out over the next 2 months, really?
He does send you free baseballs, though, whether you like him or not. So that is a positive. No, I think as much as the off season has drug on, the unfortunate, or I guess maybe fortunate reality of patience is that sometime the calendar starts getting shorter. And while I don't know that the season's going to start on time, but even if it's pushed back, we're looking at 3 months maybe into 2021 before to shove. So at some point, there's got to be a plethora of moves from teams starting to fill their rosters, sign free agents, trades. And I fully believe the sentiment that the Twins are aware of where they're at and what they need to do. It's unfortunate that it may not have taken place yet and might not be as drawn out over the entire offseason. But I think that we're going to get busy here in the next couple of months because we have to.
Yeah, and we still don't even know when spring training or the regular season starting or how many games there will be. There's so many questions still out there. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. I know we've got a few people still out there. If you've got any questions you want to ask us, please feel free to do so. David, how about you? What are a couple of things maybe you're looking for the next couple of months?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to obviously 2021 still may not look like 2019 did, in the sense that we still may not see fans completely back in the stands right away, things like that. But looking forward to a longer season again, and also looking forward to taking a look at what the Twins pitching staff does. Not just bullpen, but that starting rotation too. On paper, the Twins starting rotation this year was pretty darn good, and that's still with obviously they had Odorizzi, who was injured. Barrios was streaky at times, but if Maeda can put up another year like he did last year, and Pineda can as well, and Barrios can pitch well, and if Odorizzi is still a Minnesota Twin, good things I think are going to happen. And then off the field too, I'm just looking forward to what unique stories are going to come up. If anybody out there reads my stuff, you've probably found out that I like writing about the off the field things sometimes too. And obviously baseball is a game that is filled with experiences, both on and off the field, unique stories, upbringings, things like that. And this Twins team has a lot of different personalities and character on it. So looking forward to seeing that too, as well as the St. Paul Saints being a part of the Twins organization and the stories that is going to create.
Yeah, that should definitely be interesting. For me, it's all of what you guys said, but to kind of encapsulate it, it's let's find out what's going on. When's the season starting? When's all this going to happen? And then, as Ted mentioned, just at some point there has to be just a cluster of moves that could hopefully happen fairly quickly at some point once teams know what's going on. And I'm really looking forward to that. So I do have a question here from Susan, and that is, who is your favorite baseball player? She does it later add of the Twins. So Matt, we'll start with you again here.
Is that current, all time, whatever? We
Yeah,
can choose?
yeah, do both. Favorite all time and maybe current.
All right. Well, all time's probably got to be Mauer, just because. I mean, he was Joe Mauer. I mean, let's. I don't feel like I need to explain that. But I just loved. I just loved how predictable it was, him taking walks and hitting doubles in the left center field just day in and day out. There's something hilarious about it. Or then the occasional time when he did turn on a ball and everyone was just, just too shook to do anything about it. Currently, my favorite player's probably got to be Jose Barrios. I know I talked about him before how much I enjoy watching pitch, and it's just when he's on, it's just truly phenomenal. It's like no one can even touch him. Granted, he struggled a bit in 2020, but I'm still behind him. Still believe he's got the stuff, and I very much enjoy watching him pitch.
All right, Ted, how about you? Going back, and then if you want, currently.
Yeah, I would say for sure the same. Going back, it would definitely be Mauer. I was a big Christian Guzman fan while he was here too, but not to the same level as Mauer. And then without being the same as Matt, I'll go with Miguel Sano. I enjoy watching Miguel Sano crush baseballs.
All right, David, you're up.
Yeah, and I got to echo what's been said already. Growing up as a catcher in Twins territory, Joe Mauer was fun to watch. You knew what you were going to get, but the way that he conducted himself, the way that he represented the state was really cool to see. But I would say right now, I mean, Byron Buxton is just he's electric when he's on. He's fun to watch. But I also just really like watching Ryan Jeffers play too. Obviously, he's got a long career ahead of him, hopefully. But as someone who loves watching catchers, not just at the plate, but the work they do behind the dish, I enjoy seeing what he's done. Really curious to see what the catcher situation looks like this upcoming year. Hopefully Garver will have a nice bounce back year. But it's been fun to watch Jeffers so far.
Yeah, and for me, as I mentioned earlier, it was Kirby Puckett into Chuck Knobloch. And really, when their off the field stuff started happening, I kind of I never really, I guess, idolized players as much after that point. So, yeah, I enjoyed watching Mauer play, but the one that I liked watching the most probably was Jock Jones. Something about the smile and the, kind of didn't always know where the ball was going. He struck out a lot, but he was so fun to watch. And it was actually, he was my grandma's favorite player, and she's 97 and still, we bought her a jersey and all that kind of stuff. So for me, having him on an episode of Twin Spotlight a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, that was pretty cool for me. So, and then currently, I mean, now it's, I've met so many of these guys coming through the minor leagues, it'd be hard to pick, but, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with how fun it is to watch Byron Buxton play. Let's keep it going here quick. Trevor says, I'm interested to see how the outfield looks with Rosario gone. Kirilloff, Cave, free agent signing. Let's start with Ted on this one. How do you see the Twins outfield shaping up on opening day?
Yeah, I want to believe that it makes sense to put Kirilloff out there on opening day after you've decided that he's the answer in a playoff game. But I could see them delaying his service time too for a couple weeks, just because I do think Jake Cave is probably one of the better fourth outfielders in baseball. I guess it comes down to who they sign as well. If they sign Nelson Cruz back, then there's not competition for that outfield spot. If they sign Michael Brantley, then maybe you have another guy that you can throw out there. I would like to see it be Kirilloff, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's Cave.
David, you're in charge. Do you play the service time game with Kirilloff?
Yeah, I think that no matter how talented of a kid he is, you got to remember he's young. He's got, very, very limited experience. And yes, it was at high stages, but a guy like Cave has played that service role, that platoon role, and has seen a lot more major league at bats, playing time, can handle the mental side of it well from what we've seen. So I don't think, early on in the season, there's any rush to get Kirilloff. If you would have asked me this question a month ago, maybe I'd give you a different answer. But right now, I'd probably go Cave and Kirilloff probably for the first month, 70% Cave, 30% Kirilloff.
Matt, how about you?
All right. So first and foremost, Trevor, let me call you out. Kirilov. That name has 2 letters that are doubled, and you doubled the wrong one. 2 Fs. I've been any difference from Kirilov already, and he hasn't even played a single regular season game. It's kind of funny. But so what do? I think it'd be a mistake to go Kirilov and Cave only, just because having no backup plan to that seems like a poor idea. As much as I'm high on Kirilov and as much as Cave has shown that he can perform, both have still that downside of, Kirilov could go through typical rookie struggles. We've seen Cave at times just be, quite frankly, poor at the plate, eventually rebounds, but still, that's going to impact the team. So I think maybe you sign some sort of veteran, like a Matt Joyce type. I don't know if he's even a free agent, but sort of like a guy who can give you a base level of performance. And then if Kirilov proves that he's able to take over, if Cave gets hot, you switch him out. But I do want some sort of fallback plan, just in case something goes wrong. Because
for me, Kirilov starts the season in the minors for that minimum 20 days. So that you get an extra full season of him, hopefully 162 game season in, when he's 28 or 29 instead of 20 games early at the beginning of this season. But you get him up. You got the reason that they didn't play it all last year, so him getting an extra 20 games of the minors won't be a negative thing. I think you go with Cave and Rooker, and Rooker's already 26. He's probably about 27 when the season starts. You're already locked into him for 27 to 32. So I wouldn't worry about him being there opening day. That's a pretty nice lefty-righty platoon, and that's probably a good way to go. I'll keep it quick here, but yeah, I like the idea of a right-handed hitting outfielder that can play all 3 positions on a minor league type of deal that could come up at some point, but. Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. Let's see, real quick. I'll ask last question. This will be it. Dawson Lensing asked, "What is one thing you like better about Target Field over the Dome?" We'll start with Ted on that one because I don't think Matt probably can answer that one.
I don't know that there's almost anything that I like about the Dome better than Target Field, outside of maybe the fun nostalgia of walking out and having that whoosh. But Target Field, I think, is one of the best stadiums in baseball, maybe right behind PNC and AT&T. But yeah, I don't think that there's hardly anything wrong with Target Field. I think it's an amazing stadium.
I can't disagree. I'm guessing, David, you probably don't have much to disagree other than 1, you knew there would be a game, and 2, just kind of the smell and the ambiance of walking in there. It wasn't a great smell, but there was something about the Dome.
It was a smell, though.
There was a smell. Let's go to this, and then this is the one I thought I was going to ask. But Jay, I want to ask Ted this one first as well because Ted's into collecting and things like that. What is your favorite piece of Twins memorabilia?
I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite. I have a lot of cards, but I wouldn't count those as memorabilia. Leaks and whatnot over time. I had a Twitter follower randomly reach out about a year ago and sent me a autographed Byron Buxton game-worn high school helmet. That was pretty cool.
That is very cool.
That's a neat piece that I'll never get rid of for sure.
All right. David, anything you got?
Yeah, there is one that really sticks out to me. I have a autographed Rod Carew baseball from when I got to meet Carew at a hitting camp when I was in 3rd, 4th grade, and he signed it in colored pencil, so it's fading. I'm trying to keep it in the dark so it doesn't fade anymore, but I just remember it more just because of the experience. I was super young and kind of afraid, and he walked up and he said, "Kid, you've got a great smile," and I'll never forget that. But definitely holds a special place in my memory bank.
That is definitely. Matt, you got anything?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, but I have a few baseballs that I collected over the years going to Twins games when they're at Safeco, getting autographs from the players. Some cool, I met Burt Blylow outside the stadium. I got Justin Morneau inside. Some really random, like I have Casey Fiend and Kevin Jepsen. Hold that close to my heart. And the legend Nick Puto. I got Puto there. So those I hold near and dear. I haven't gotten an autograph in a few years because I'm old now, so no one wants to sign for me. But
And I will
hold
just
near and dear
say
to my heart.
I have baseball signed. I have bobbleheads. I used to do, as Ted mentioned, wait outside the dome waiting for bobblehead days. I just got this for Christmas from my daughter. It's pretty cool. It's almost like a totem pole of the Twins. It's a TC Bear, some mean looking guy, Twins logo, and a baseball. So I really appreciate that. I don't think any of us can beat what Ron Brown has, and that's a signed Harmon Killebrew baseball. That is pretty cool. So with that, I want to say thank you to everyone who listened throughout the show and asked questions, participated, got a lot of questions right. Between Cody Warren and Tracy Toole, we got a few guys and gals in our comments tonight that probably would be very good contenders. And who knows, maybe at some point we'll do an episode where we get a bunch of our top listeners to come on and participate as well, because I think that would be a lot of fun. Thank you to Matt Braun again for participating, and hopefully you learned something, had a little bit of fun, and enjoy the rest of your new year. Ted, thanks again for joining tonight. Kept you a little longer than we said we would, but I think it's been a lot of fun, and you kept it close for a while, so thank you very much. And David Youngs, you'll be back. Hopefully we can get a time next week where you and Nash Walker can be two defending champions going up against each other. And who knows, maybe we'll put you up against, one of our fans or something like that. So with that, whether you watch live on Twins Daily Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, please feel free to leave us your comments. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. This will be downloaded and available on the Twins Daily podcast within a few minutes. So be sure to check that out. I apologize for all these notices, but next week, we will have 3 new Twins spotlights with Twins prospects and a new Twins Jeopardy. So be sure to check that out. Follow us on all the Twins Daily social media to find out the schedule. I think all of them will be at 6 o'clock next week. And we're starting to fill out the next week as well. So with that, thanks again to Matt Braun, Ted Schwerzler, David Youngs, and thanks to all of you for listening. Have yourselves a great night. And as always, go Twins.